Hey, my name is Andy Reid, and this is the Alchemicast right here on Alchemical Records, where we focus on musicians in the DMV and we give them the spotlight to focus on and talk about what they got going on and what they got going on in the months to come. With me today, I have the J.O.B, a group of guys from Richmond, Virginia, who come together and have a sonic sound that's just full of energy, vivacity, and a hard rock crunch that's sure to set you on your seat. With me on the show, I have all four of these guys, Jim, Jason, Jared, and Brian, with a mixture of different backgrounds from videography and graphic design, who will be on the show to talk a little bit about what they've been working on, their recent single, Criminal, and their upcoming release, Heart is Hollow. Please welcome to the show, the J.O.B. Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty well. How are you?
Good.
Good, not too bad. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, wouldn't have it any other way. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, here on the Alchemicast, we try to bring you guys on and then just give you the floor. So maybe we can just go around the circle and you guys can introduce yourself and your instrument and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'll start. I'm Jim. I sing and I play acoustic and rhythm electric guitar and live in Richmond, originally from Alexandria, Virginia. And been retired from the Army in 2008 and been playing in the band ever since. So that's my story. Moving on down the line.
Yeah, my name is Brian Penzak. I'm the youngin' of the band. I play drums, among other things, but this drums is my specialty here. Yeah, I dropped out of college to join this band, so I'm just kind of seeing where that goes. And yeah, I'm from Richmond too.
I'm Jason. I play electric guitar. I live in Richmond for the last 11 years.
Almost 13.
Almost
Wow.
13
Yeah.
years. 11 to 13 years. Yeah.
My name's Jared. I live in Richmond. I've been in Richmond for about 4 years. I play bass and I sing backup vocals for the J.O.B. I also teach music lessons for guitar, bass, drums, piano.
And jack of all trades. Well, you guys have a sound that is something unlike I've ever heard before. It's a mixture of different styles. You guys are hard yet eclectic. You have acoustic and great harmonies that come together and kind of create this tapestry that sounds really powerful. And I'm sure it sounds powerful live. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you guys met and what your sound is now. Based on where it started and how it came to today.
Jim and I met in 2008 or 2007 through MySpace Music. And Jim was looking for an electric guitar player to accompany him on some acoustic guitar stuff, like singer-songwriter style. And I was in between bands. Before meeting up with Jim, I had a metal band. So I was interested in seeing, kind of pushing my creative limit into another genre. So it just really kind of really worked out. Yeah.
Yeah. And we did what we did from there is I had a bunch of songs that I'd written and was looking for a lead guitar player to collaborate with. And Jason sort of responded to all that. We went into a studio at Falls Church and recorded 7, I think, songs that I'd written prior to this when my first deployment to Iraq. And so there's a lot of that perspective that I wanted to record down onto a little CD. So we did that. And then I went back overseas for another deployment. And when I came back from that deployment in 2008, that was it. I retired from the Army. And Jason and I discussed it when we decided to go full time with this. And so that's sort of how everything got started with us. The original songs were all written on an acoustic guitar, just me by myself, sort of wherever I happened to be at that time in the world. And so it was very Americana, but influenced Gordon Lightfooty, Roy Orbison kind of with a little bit of Leonard Skinner thrown in for some good measure, you know. And then Jason brought those to life with some good lead guitar licks. So when we started the band in '08, when I got back out of the Army, it was a matter of finding a drummer, which we did, and then a bass player, and we grew and recorded another full-length record. Played a whole lot more shows, learned more about it, started cutting our teeth out there, out and about, doing gigs. And over a period of time, here we are, about 200 and almost 250 shows later. And we've got Jared over here, and we got Brian on board. And it took all this time. And we've gone through some fantastic musicians. We've worked with some great bass players and some great drummers along the years. We've done some great recording work, written some great songs. And every time we've had somebody come into the band, they brought their skill set, their creativity, and their own creative process aboard. So our sound has changed. Every time we brought new players on board, it's affected everything that we've put out of the studio. And this is no different. You know, I mentioned Gordon Lightfoot and Roy Orbison and John Fogerty and CCR. Those are like my concrete influences that got me going. Jason is more of a metal guy. You know, he's playing the 7-string Schecter and just tearing stuff up on stage. And now then we've got Jared on board, and his influences are totally different, and Brian on board, and his are totally different. So essentially, the sound that we have is still me writing something on an acoustic guitar and putting a poem to it and making some words. And then I bring it to the music room when I think it's ready, and they take ownership. I play it for them. And if they like it, they say north, south, the head, we'll do this one. And they all, drummer picks his and the bass. And from there on, I'm sort of just sitting back and for the ride. You know, they put rocket engines on my little folky songs and turn them into whatever they turn into. And they never end up the way that I expected to hear them in my head the first time when I'm sitting up there with a notepad and acoustic guitar. So that's how our process is. You know, it starts off with me just singer-songwriting for an open mic kind of thing. And by the time it goes through our funnel, it comes out the recording studio, which we get on the CDs, which is very different.
You mentioned open mics. Man, my heart goes out to open mics. I miss them, and definitely can bring myself back to doing them. But you know, open mics were this great venue option that allowed musicians to come and just like hang out. It's how we converse without talking. You know, so you grab a beer and you sit behind your instrument, whether that's drums or a bass, and you let the instrument do the talking for you. What are some of your favorite venues for open mics or to see live music?
Poe's Pub, by far. They have some of the best open mic nights, in my opinion. And it's a local neighborhood bar as well, so it's not too far.
Yeah, like 5 minutes down the road, hang out, play some guitar, sing some songs.
Yeah, the Pose is it's in our neighborhood. It's our neighborhood watering hole, and they've had live music in there since the bar's been there. And it's got a nice little stage set up, nice riser. They got a pretty good PA system in there. A local guy runs it on Thursday nights, and I would always air out songs. You know, and I put something together, and I get the lyrics done, the music done. I always go down to Poe's Pub, just get on the sheet for the night, and just air it out in front of all the other guitar players and everybody else. And that's the best critique I can get. You know, if they're paying attention, and they'll let you know, hey, this worked, that worked. You might want to tweak this bridge a little bit. But if it sells to that crowd, then it's something to move forward with. So that's Jared was on board, gosh, a month, and we were already down at Poe's Pub, standing up there singing songs on the open mic. So it was it's a good place to go, just air things out and see how they bounce off the crowd before you really commit to going into the studio with an idea. And venues in town, we got some great venues in Richmond. Richmond is sort of a crossroads. I like to think of it sort of as like a little Austin, just waiting to explode out onto the world. We've got the National and the Broadberry and some really good medium-sized venues. Innsbruck After Hours, which has moved up the street a little bit for their larger big shows, and then little venues all over the place. Anywhere they can scoot pool tables out of the way with an electric socket, they'll put a band in the corner in this town. So you got those venues, and then regular music venues, the Camel and Canal Club and a bunch
Broadberry.
Of.
You mentioned.
Definitely the Broadberry. Yeah. And not only are they great places to play, but they're great places to see shows. When we're not playing shows, we're going and watching shows. So there's always something going on musically in this town. It's a great place.
This sounds like a good time to try out a new segment I've been working on called This or That. Now, so far I've asked a couple artists a variety of questions, and it goes like this or that, where you just tell me which one you choose and why. Okay. Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
Sure,
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
All right, let's play. We're going to start with something easy. Beer or wine?
Brian?
Beer. Do I have to go? I got to give a why. Wine is just. I don't like the hangovers from wine. Beer doesn't do that to me.
Sure. Yeah, I
That's-
get that. It's probably
fair.
the tannins. Yeah, the tannins or something about it. The sugars, maybe. I don't know.
Wine is like
Probably
a
the
Four
sugar.
Loko, and Four Lokos are terrible. Wine is like an adult Four Loko, and I don't like that. Beer is like
Bender or
tolerable.
Gibson?
Ooh.
Jason.
Ooh.
He has both sitting over here in the corner.
I'll say Gibson. I feel that the Gibson, you can get a lot of different sounds out of Gibson. You can split the humbuckers, get a single coilish kind of sound. I think Gibson.
I'm kind of partial to Fender myself.
Gnats or Orioles?
Oh, Nats. My apologies to Cal Ripken, of course, but Nats, man. I was there their very first game ever on opening day at RFK Stadium. I got a baseball from them, and they're always going to be there. They replaced the Senators. You know, I'm a baseball guy. Love the Nats.
That's right. Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Brr.
Xbox.
PlayStation.
You're not allowed to talk anymore, Brian.
I mean, actually, I got rid of my Xbox, so I just don't have anything anymore.
So you don't get a say in this.
I did enjoy Xbox. It was just taking up too much of my time, so I was like, now it's with Joe. Ironically.
Gotcha.
I've been with PlayStation since PS1, man.
Same. I did have an Xbox, but PlayStation just pushes all the right buttons.
Borderlands 3 on PlayStation is like my heroin. I gotta, it's
Told you.
I need a 12-step program to get rid of Borderlands on my PlayStation.
It's a real problem, actually.
Would you rather take Metro or Uber?
Oh, Metro. Absolutely. It's much more interesting.
Yeah, Metro, much more
That's the
more
subway,
interesting.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's always funny shit happening on the subways.
Yes,
And
definitely
then
a train.
sometimes really gross shit, but that's the subway for you. It's like a grab bag. You never know what you're gonna get.
I think it's for the DMV guys, like Metro. You guys.
Yeah.
I used to go to New York all the
Oh.
time. And that was similar.
I'm from a small country town, so
So I've been in the DC.
I'm
tunnels in
surprised I
DC
even
were
know
great.
what Metro meant.
Metro's the name of the local police dog.
Metro.
Then one last one. Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Beatles. Sorry.
Wow.
I'll say Rolling Stones.
I'm gonna say Rolling Stones because they're still here and they're still doing it. And so I gotta side with the longevity. War of attrition, they won.
I'm gonna say Beatles because I haven't listened to the Rolling Stones that much.
I was kind of raised on the
Shame to
Beatles
say.
myself.
However, Ringo
It's never
is
too
still,
late to start. It's never too late to start. Get yourself a copy of Hot Rocks and then just get back. It's
There you go.
Yeah.
it's definitely something that worth checking out. Thank you for playing This or That.
You're very welcome. Give ourselves a round of applause.
So something I want to do is I want to ask you guys, what does it mean to you to be musicians from the DMV? Granted, Richmond's a little bit lower than the DC area or surrounding suburbs, but you're still part of the DMV. So what does it mean to you to be musicians from this area? And, what is it? What is it all about?
I'll be happy to answer that. My very first gig I ever played was at a little country place in Stafford County, Virginia, when I was 15 years old. And it was a little knockdown, drag-out, sawdust floor beer joint off on some no-name road. And a buddy of mine who had a car drug my butt down there with my guitar, and I sat in there and I played some Johnny Cash songs and Hank Williams songs until everybody just closed the doors and left. And I got drunk as hell, didn't behave for nothing, and had a great time, and I was hooked on playing gigs ever since. I used to play street corners up in Old Town Alexandria and up in Georgetown. I'd go up there and just busk all over the place when I was in high school. And then I had an entire career. Went and enlisted, went in the Army, spent 28 years in the United States Army, retired from the Army, came back, and I picked up where I left off, and I'm still playing gigs and still writing songs and still entertaining audiences out here in the area. And today, to play shows in DMV, when we go up and we play in Northern Virginia, we play in Herndon, we play over in Baltimore, whenever we play up and around DC, Northern Virginia, anywhere up there, right, anywhere we play, it's especially with the local audience up there, it's I still remember playing that first show in that little place when I was 15 years old, and I feel very still here, still at it, still playing shows, still doing the thing, still strumming my guitar. I don't know if I've gotten any better since then, but people still listen, and I'm still having a good time. So it means everything to be a musician from up here. Whenever we travel, first thing we do is we tell people we're from Virginia. You know, this is we're representing, we're ambassadors of the music scene, no matter where we go. So it means a lot to be a musician from up here. There's so many other good musicians, so much other talent just pouring off the shelves, and you know every street corner's got a band, you know, up in this area, and everybody's you know expressing themselves and trying to find an audience and trying to express themselves to that audience and make that music connection. But it's cool. I love being a musician from DMV.
Yeah, and it's a community. I feel like we kind of look out for each other, which is cool. You know, we're all in the same boat, so it's cool.
Do you feel like you guys have grown since you first started as a band?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, you know, when we first started, the sound was more kind of singer-songwriter. But now we've kind of like we got some blues influences, some grunge influences. It's just a completely different chemistry. Yeah, and you can hear that, especially on the new stuff that we have coming later this summer.
Do you feel like the DMV itself has a sound, or is it more of like a mixing bowl? Because I feel like there are so many genres that the sound itself is all about being live. That we have all these sounds and different musicians from different walks of life, and they're trying to get their music across digitally. But when we have the option, performing live is what the DMV is all about. What do you think?
Well, I think that it's hard to put your finger on this. It's hard for me to put my finger on the DMV sound because nobody sounds like pop radio here. You know, I don't think that the music that I hear from the local bands is not as derivative as I'm used to hearing. If you turn on a radio station and you hear the newest, biggest, greatest gee whiz band that's suddenly getting all the spin time, and I think that I think that's a lot of it. I think that a lot of people who live in the DMV area are from elsewhere. This is a magnet for people, the Washington D.C. area. So it's sort of like living in the Keys. Nobody's really from there except for the core people who are. And so you got a lot of influences from a lot of places. There's a lot of different kinds of music, but I don't see a whole lot of derivative pop music being done. There's some fantastic hip hop and rap coming out. There's all the time. There's country artists got some country artists that I know that we've played shows with around here that are wonderful, and rock and roll from all kinds of influences. It's hard to put my finger and say this is what the DMV music scene sounds like because it's just very eclectic. It comes from all over the board, and none of it that I've heard is really middle of the road. I can't say that sounds like Nickelback, because nobody does. Everybody has their own thing going for them, and that's part of the strength of the music scene around here. That's why there's so many different kinds of music on all the local music radio stations. When they have the hour on Sunday night where they play the local stuff, it's just so much different stuff to play. And it's all different. You sit down and listen to one of those 1 hour or 2 hour local music shows on WRIR here in town, for instance, and it's no two songs are the same, and they're all local musicians, they're all local bands, and they're all completely different for 2 hours. So it's cool. I dig it a lot. I like being a part of it. It's important to be a part of something as diverse as that. I think it's really cool.
Keep playing.
Yeah, write a lot. Write a lot. Secret to writing is rewriting. Secret to rewriting is editing. And a song is never finished until you come out the other end of the studio. Yeah.
That's a much better list.
and it depends on what aspect of music. Just write, keep writing, never be discouraged. No is the biggest part of the response that you're going to get from any place. Don't let gatekeepers keep you from getting gigs. Work past them, around them, through them, over them, whatever it takes. Relationships are important. Build them with other bands and with influencers that can help you get gigs. Never burn a bridge. There are a lot of things to tell bands. We've been doing this for 13 years. And it's and we've learned a lot, and we'll continue to learn a lot. One of the most important things about doing this successfully is understanding how much I don't know yet. and that I have to learn it and continue to strive to absorb as much as I can, because the more I learn, the better and more viable and as a and credible and hireable we are, and listenable as a band we become. So yeah, all that.
Do you guys feel like the months to come are going to be something that we can be on the lookout for upcoming material and new content from you guys? I plugged a little bit about Heart is Hollow. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Who wants to feel that?
Yeah, that's a really cool song. It started out with like, I think Jim brought a song to us, and it was very just driving guitar. So Jason had an idea, like, what if the drums were just as driving?
Yeah, he wrote my drum part. I was trying to do some I was trying to do some Travis Barker, like just way too much kind of stuff, and then he was just like, "What if you just did this?" And then I was like, "Oh yeah, that does work way better." And that's what we went with.
Yeah. It's a great song, really driving, probably our heaviest song that we have now.
Yeah.
At least instrumentally. And
But it's got a nice swing to it as well.
It does.
Yeah, I really enjoy how we mix genres together. So it's heavy, but it's got this kind of like R&B like swing to it.
and then
yeah.
there's like the Latin kind of bridge
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
One of the things about our shows, we play live shows. We play 3 sets, 3 hours, 30 songs, all hours. We're all original. We don't play any cover song. So when we have an audience for 3 hours no matter what the venue is, that's most of them. Of course, we do showcases and stuff too, but our bread and butter, the paying gigs, are the ones where we are the entertainment for the night. And so we can't just have one type of song, a linear songwriting process, because it'll sound like the same song for 3 hours. So we intentionally try to bounce around and do something a little more bluesy here, and let's try to do something a little poppy here, and something really, really heavy and dirty over here. So we bounce around intentionally just so we have that variety that we're putting out on a stage, no matter where we're playing.
Yeah. And it's fun. Like we're all of us are into so many different types of music.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to explore the whole world of sound,
And Heart is Hollow is a different one for us. It's one of the first ones that up to this point, I've been playing just an acoustic guitar. I got Taylors, a couple of Taylors that I play when we're on stage. Sort of this one over the last year, I picked up a little Fender Mustang, and just been playing the heck out of it. I just love this little guitar. It's fantastic. It's like getting a new car. You just got to go air it out and see what it can do. And so Heart is Hollow is one of the first songs that I wrote on that electric guitar. So just having that type of guitar in my hands to begin the songwriting process just put me in a whole different frame of mind than just strumming around on a Taylor trying to find chord progression. So I was finding parts and riffs instead of chord progression. And that sort of it upped my game as a songwriting. It sort of added that new dimension to me, and I got really excited. So I just started cranking out all kinds of little things on the Fender. And Heart is Hollow it was like a magnet on the refrigerator. It just stuck. Everybody's like, "Man, let's run with this one, man." So yeah, we put some rocket engines on it. It's ready to release. We're going to be putting it out this summer later on. Right now Jared is working our videographer Steven Spielberg section over there. He's doing the final final shots in production and editing on music video for Heart is Hollow. And it's a really cool music video. We've really upped our music video game too, thanks to Jared's efforts and the skill set that he brought into the band. And so we already have Criminal, which is out doing really well from our last little batch of songs that we did. And Heart is Hollow is the next music video, and that's the one that's going to be released. So we're waiting for it to get finished, and then we're looking to probably do a dual release, both the single and the music video at the same time, sort of as a pair, just stick them out there. So we're looking at this summer. It'll be ready to rock this summer.
That music video was an interesting day of film.
Yes, it was.
I got my second dose of the Moderna vaccine the previous night, and then we had a big staircase to lug stuff up and down.
It was like 100 stairs.
It was like all of the stairs.
Bringing
Every
all of our
single
gear.
one.
Well, not all of our gear, but we brought amps and a drum set. I was working on filming in other locations, so these 3 guys just lugged all the shit down there. And it was down to a trail. So it was a bunch of different trails through the woods where we set up our instruments, set up our amps and stuff, and filmed us performing in the woods as there's I guess sort of a chase scene going on.
The problem, of course, is we live in the city. We're in the city of Richmond, and there's no forest around here, so we couldn't just go out back, go through a gate, and we're in the woods. So we had to go to where the woods were, and they were in the city park, and that's at the bottom of this long 100-step staircase that goes all the way down these concrete stairs.
Chimborazo Park.
Yeah, Chimborazo Park
Yeah.
here in the neighborhood. So that's the whole reason behind the Herculean effort of getting all of our gear up and down these stairs.
We also hired an amateur succubus for the day.
Yes, we had a succubus there, and she scared the hell out of everybody.
For all of our listeners out there, be on the lookout for Heart is Hollow from the J.O.B. in the months to come, and a sweet music video that sounds like it's going to be the next best thing. Thank you guys so much for coming in the Alchemicast. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and just hang out. It's been real.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I can't believe we're out of time already.
Yeah, that was fast.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Is there anything else you guys would like to add at this last moment?
Me personally, I one of the things that we mentioned our sound and how we get to our sound. Our sound wouldn't be our sound at all without Rich Stein as our producer. Rich Stein's been producing us, recording and producing us primarily since about 2012. And he is our go-to guy. He is the sort of our quality control, our mentor, all kinds of, he's a huge resource and a good friend. And he produces all of our music for us. So a big thanks out to Rich. And also our live sound engineer, Ian Buss, who travels along with us. We just finished a trip down to Florida. We just played Daytona Beach at Hard Rock and went across the Gulf Coast, and we played over in Bradenton at Banana Factory. Great shows back to back, but it was a 15-hour drive home. And Ian's with us every step of the way, and he's working in front of the house no matter where we play. And every venue is a different problem to solve, to set up. So yeah, I want to personally thank Ian for everything he does for us, and Rich for everything he has done and continues to do for us as a producer.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's very good at it.
Both of them.
Both of them are very good
yeah.
at their job.
Exceptional. Yeah.
And Ian's really good at carrying.
Yeah.
We're all good roadies.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. My name is Andy Reid, and this has been the Alchemicast right here on Alchemical Records. Take it easy, guys. We'll hang out another time.
Thank you, Andy, very much.
Goodbye. Good night.
You too, man.
Spend my living in a world bent on dying, in the underbelly of dreams that fall apart. I ask strangers, from where do you know me? In the mirror they reply, you're my broken heart, my broken heart, yeah. I know your pleasures and I know your guilty comforts. You can't hide your blame or burdens away from me. I feed on frailty, from where do you know me? In the mirror you can see I'm your broken heart, your broken heart. You're a menagerie of blurry, bloated faces on a mantelpiece with trophies of the cursed. I always find you in the same fateful places. We will never be apart. I'm your broken